All right, so I'm in Lake Norman National Park in North Carolina. I wasn't planning on going out today or doing any kind of video. I had ordered my knife and it was supposed to arrive tomorrow, and tomorrow was actually early, so it came today. So I just kind of spontaneously decided to come out here and do this. So I'm comparing it to my Mora knife, which is what I normally had. It's not really a fair comparison because the knife from Joker is a $100 knife and my Mora is only $40. So it would have been a little bit more comparable if I had a Mora Garberg versus the Joker Campero. The Mora was dull right out the box, and I don't know if that's because the high carbon steel is just very robust and it's really good for batoning and things like that. I've sharpened it twice now on a whetstone, and I'm not the most confident in my whetstone sharpening abilities, but it doesn't seem to be doing much of it. For instance, when it came out the box, you know, it didn't cut paper, and it still doesn't. Right out the box, razor sharp. So for the Joker sheath, it's made of leather. It comes with a belt loop and then an additional one on here. I don't like this kind, so I'm taking this off and I'm just gonna have it hug the side of my body here. What I love though is it comes with a ferro rod, a miniature one, which is really nice. So you're gonna have that for fire starting, obviously, which is super cool. One of the things I'm noticing I'm not used to, I should say, I don't want to say I don't like it, is the knife doesn't fit in the sheath right away. So because it's this leather, you sort of have to like wrestle it in and push it down. So I'm thinking over time it will create the shape it needs to, so you can pull it in and out. So you can kind of push it down, but I'm noticing also with as far as grabbing it and pulling it out, it's a little bit awkward with the fire starter there. So you kind of have to, like, you know, after you hook it on, kind of have to get your knife out with just like 2 or 3 fingers and then just be careful. So it's not as quick of a draw. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm comparing to the Mora. As you can see, I taped my own fire starter on there, my own ferro rod, which is kind of ghetto. This also has kind of a belt loop I don't really like, but this one's a lot more intuitive. There's nothing here to grab, miss, and it just seems to pull out really easy. Your hand just naturally slides and falls into this one part here. And also it's a Kydex, I believe, case, like my gun case, so it's already made to fit. I've seen some reviews online though where after pulling this in and out enough, it doesn't hold the knife anymore. So that could be bad, but yeah, so here's that. Also, this is like a really hard rubber or plastic handle. So some people don't like that. I don't mind. The tang is not a full tang, it's a partial tang. So it looks like the blade length is the same. Yeah. So let me get this closer. So they both have a very wide 90-degree spine. Campero is even wider, which is crazy. Can't wait to try it on the ferro rod. So, I mean, both really good knives. Joker's slicing through a little bit easier. Then again, it's fresh out of the box. It does come sharpened. The Mora is me sharpening on the whetstone. So this is a lot sharper than the last time I used it, which is nice. Shows me I know what I'm doing, I guess, on the whetstone. So both really good knives. Obviously, $100 knife's gonna be better. So I'm gonna make this my main knife here and keep this as like a backup, like maybe in the glove compartment or something, and just carry this on my side. So just as a reminder, this is just a video journal channel for me. It's my own personal journal. So I'm not trying to get likes and subscribes and stuff like that. So you might see titles like ASMR or unboxing or review, whatever I call this one. I'm just curious to see how videos do without playing the game, without chasing the algorithms and the hashtags and doing all this work. It's just so annoying. It's so tiresome. I have 2 other channels already that I do have to do that with. I have a Christian ministry channel that I'll be adding a lot to this year, and I'm also an inventor for the Safety Sun Shield. So that's another channel I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to play the game for. So this is just my own personal thing. I just like to, my hobby obviously is camping, wilderness survival, prepping. And I've only, obviously I'm an amateur. I've only been doing that for like a year. Wow, did you see that huge bug? Dang. Blooper. Oh. Thing with the south that I'm not used to is the incredible amount of bugs. Plus it's 92, so I'm just drenched in sweat. I'm not used to this. But yeah, if you want to follow or leave your comments or likes or whatever, feel free. I don't care. That's pretty cool. And then if you leave a dislike, I really don't care. This isn't like, I'm not trying to be like a poser or something. The thing that's great with this is you're going to get honesty and you're going to see mistakes made. It is a review, so hopefully it helps. But mostly this channel is just me having fun, you know? Big fan of this. So I was expecting a massive difference between the 2 knives, and it's not that huge. But from what I hear, the Jokers hold their edge really well. The Mora, I've noticed, it needs a resharpening after I'm out in the bush on a camp trip. Not a huge difference. I do like the full tang. I do like the wooden handle. I think you can get the Bushcraft with a ferro rod attached to the case. I've seen that. I don't know why mine didn't come that way. So keep an eye out for that. If it's your first knife, definitely go for that $40 range. I've been using 2 $40 range knives as my first knives for about a year now. And that's why I'm able to step it up and get that $100 knife, because I'm ready for that now. I'm doing a lot more processing of wood when I'm out because I know a lot more techniques now. So if you can afford it and you are comfortable with different types of knives, go for the $100 knife. If you're just starting out or you're a little bit more budget friendly, definitely recommend the Mora knife. And there's another option, which is buy American, which I try to do for most of my things. My guns are American brands like Ruger and Smith & Wesson. A lot of my survival stuff is just, Oregon-based Garberg, kind of middle of the line stuff, or Pathfinder Survival, which is like Dave Canterbury's brand. So if you want to do an American knife, don't do either of the ones I just showed you. Morakniv is Swedish and Joker is Spain. From what I understand, the town that those Joker knives are made in has a history of knife making. I think there's a guild there and everything. So I thought I recorded the ferro rod part, but I guess I did not, unfortunately. And I wanted to include it in here. It does come with this Mini Ferro Rod, and I thought it would be some chintzy little thing, but it's actually pretty impressive. I'm really happy with it. So I'm just gonna, shoot some sparks in my sink in the kitchen here, just so you guys can see it. Really cool stuff. Really impressed.